It's 11:52 p.m. The dryer just ate your last 4 quarters. You dig through your jacket pocket for more change. Nothing. Just lint. And a folded up piece of paper you don't remember putting there. You almost throw it away. Then you stop. You uncrumple it under the buzzing laundromat light. A lottery ticket. Bought 11 days ago, half as a joke, on a jackpot number that made you laugh out loud in line at the gas station. $600 million. You pull out your phone. You check the numbers slowly, one at a time. The first one matches. Your hand goes still. The second one matches. You stop breathing. By the 5th number, you're standing in a laundromat at midnight, holding more money than your whole family has made in 3 generations. And not one person on earth knows it yet. You don't scream. You don't call anyone. You just stand there. The dryer's still spinning. Someone's radio is playing 2 aisles over. Life keeps going like nothing just happened. You fold the ticket back up, slow, careful, like it might tear if you move too fast. Your phone's still in your hand. Your mom's contact is right there. One tap. You don't tap it. Instead, you check your wallet for quarters again. Like you didn't just become a different person 3 seconds ago. You find $2 in loose change. You feed the dryer. You sit back down on the plastic bench like everything's normal. It's not normal. Your leg won't stop bouncing. Here's the thing nobody warns you about. The second you know, really know, something in you flips. Not excitement. Something closer to survival instinct. Who can I trust? Who can I trust? What happens the second this gets out? You get home, you don't sleep. You sit on the floor, back against a second-hand couch, and open 11 browser tabs before your eyes start burning. Anonymous Trust, LLC filings. States that let you keep your name off a public record, at least for a while, at least partly. You're 25. Nobody taught you this in school. Around 3 a.m. you stop reading and just sit there. Phone light on your face, rent's due in 6 days. You've got $412 in checking. And somewhere in your jacket is a piece of paper worth more than every job you'll ever work combined. You laugh. It comes out wrong. Then you decide. You tell no one. Not your mom, not your best friend, not the guy at the gas station who sold you the ticket as a joke. You don't know it yet, but that's not a choice you get to make once. It's a discipline. One you'll have to practice every day, starting tomorrow. When your alarm goes off for a $9 an hour shift, you technically don't need any more. You set the alarm anyway. Monday morning, you go to work as if nothing happened. You clock in at the warehouse at 7, same badge, same forklift, same guy named Roy who tells the same joke about the loading dock every single day. You laugh at it. For the first time, it takes real effort. On your lunch break, you call a number you found at 3 a.m. An asset attorney 2 states over, someone with zero connection to your life. A friend of a friend of a friend gave you his name. His name is Halverson. He doesn't pick up. You leave a voicemail that sounds calmer than you feel. He calls back Wednesday. 2 days later. You spend those 2 days convinced you called the wrong guy, refreshing your phone every 20 minutes at work until Roy asks if you're expecting bad news. Just waiting on something, you tell him. First half-truth of a lot more to come. When Halverson finally calls, he's not the smooth, all-knowing voice you pictured. He sounds tired. He asks you to repeat the jackpot number twice, like he wants to make sure he heard it right, like this doesn't happen to him every week either. I'm not going to tell you this is simple, he says. It's not. Every state's different. I need a few days to know exactly what we can and can't keep off the record. That's not the answer you wanted. You wanted certainty. What you get is a guy being honest about not having all of it yet. By Friday, there's an entity that exists on paper and nowhere else. A name that means nothing to anyone. You are, on every document that matters, a shadow standing behind a shadow. Here's something nobody tells you about money at this size. The system treats a piece of paper better than it treats a person. You watch it happen. When Halverson files things under the entity, doors open faster than they ever have for you personally. Quiet. Efficient. When your actual name touches anything, a bank teller glancing at your ID, it's still slow. Still ordinary. Exactly the way it's always been. The following Friday, you claim the ticket. Different state, 4-hour drive, radio off the whole way. A woman in a gray blazer checks the numbers twice. Her eyebrows move, just slightly, when the second check matches the first. Lump sum. $314 million after the cut. You sign 4 documents. Your hand shakes on the second one. Halverson's already told you the truth about what this buys you. Not full invisibility. Nothing's fully invisible. Just as little of your name in public records as the law in that state allows. He said it plainly. No promises attached. You appreciated that more than you expected to. You walk out of that building and drive straight back to your apartment. You still owe rent in 2 days. You've still got $412 in your actual checking account. On paper, you're the exact same broke 25-year-old who drove in that morning. That's the whole plan. Stay the same on paper. Become someone else completely underneath it. You go back to the warehouse Monday, clock in at 7. But something's different now. And it's not the money. It's the math running quietly behind every normal thing you do. The tip you leave, the rent you pay, the $20 you hand your roommate for gas. None of it will ever be simple again. Money doesn't move fast when you're trying to hide it. That's the first thing you learn in month 1. Halverson moves it slow. A little here, a little there, spread across accounts. You ask him why it takes so long. He tells you something you didn't expect. Big fast money gets noticed. Slow money doesn't. Turns out banks have a threshold. Cross it in one transaction and a flag goes up automatically. No human even has to notice. The system does it by itself. Someone somewhere gets a report with your entity's name on it before you've had coffee that morning. You didn't do anything wrong. You just moved fast once, early on before you understood the rules, so you stop moving fast. You buy a house this month, not in your name, closed by Halverson's team while you're at work. You don't even see the place until the papers are signed. Small rancher, 2 towns over. Nothing that draws a second look. Here's the part nobody tells you about, the part you find out the hard way. 3 weeks after closing, you're cleaning out your old email, and you find it. A confirmation message from the title company, sent to your personal address instead of the entity's, sitting unread in a folder you never check. Your actual name, right there in the subject line, next to the property address. Your stomach drops for a solid minute. You call Halverson. He's quiet on the line for a second, longer than you'd like. That shouldn't have gone there, he says. Delete it. Clear your trash folder too. It's probably fine. Probably. Not definitely. You sit with that word for the rest of the day. Nothing comes of it. No one ever mentions it. But it's the first time you understand that the wall you're building has actual seams in it. Put there by tired people doing their best, not by some flawless machine that never slips. You start double-checking things now. Every email, every form. Your roommate asks where you disappeared to on Friday. You tell him you had a doctor's appointment. It's not true. It comes out so easily it scares you a little. That's when you understand something the laundromat never warned you about. The first lie is hard. The 10th one isn't a lie anymore. It's just Tuesday. Your mom calls. She asks how work is. You say fine. You mean it, sort of. The warehouse actually is fine. It's just not the whole sentence anymore. You hang up and sit with that for a minute. Nobody tells you this going in. The hard part was never getting the money. The hard part is becoming a person who's good at keeping it quiet. Good in a way that used to embarrass you, and now just feels like Tuesday. You think about your mom's mortgage almost every day this month. $640 a payment, 22 years left on it. You could end that in about 4 seconds with one signature. You don't call her and tell her everything. You want to. You draft that conversation in your head 100 times. Instead, you call Halverson. This time he doesn't have an instant answer either. He tells you there's a way to do it. The trust can purchase the remaining note directly from her mortgage servicer and satisfy it through a private payoff, routed through an escrow account with the trust's name on it, not yours. It takes paperwork. It takes a few weeks. It's not some magic anonymous charity. It's a real estate transaction. Just one she'll never see the other side of. It'll look like a normal payoff to her lender, he says. To her, it'll look like a miracle. Those are 2 different things landing on the same day. 3 weeks later, your mom gets a letter. Her loan's been satisfied in full. No name attached that means anything to her. She calls you crying before you've even had coffee. Someone paid off the house, she says. I don't understand it. Who does that? You act surprised. You practiced this in the mirror the night before. Stood there rehearsing shock on your own face like an idiot. It works. She believes you. You hang up the phone and just sit there for a long time. This is the first real cost. Not the money. The distance. You realize something that night, staring at your wrist. At the same cheap watch you've worn for 3 years. The one with the strap that split down the middle and you never bothered replacing. You could buy 1,000 of these. You're still wearing the broken one. Not because you can't afford a new one. Because changing it would mean explaining why, and you don't have an explanation you're ready to give anyone yet. Your best friend asks to borrow $40 for gas that same week. You hand it over without thinking twice, because $40 means nothing to you now, and it means everything to him. He says thanks like it actually saved him. You say no problem like it actually cost you something. Neither one of you is lying, exactly. You're just standing on 2 different sides of the same $40, and only one of you knows it. That night you write something down in a notes app, just for yourself. The money didn't change who I am. It changed what everyone else thinks they're looking at. You close the phone and go to bed, watch strap still split, alarm still set for 7. Halverson sends you a report every Sunday now. You almost don't open it some weeks. It still feels like reading someone else's mail. This week the number at the bottom says the trust generated a little over $40,000 in returns. That's not for the month. That's for 1 day. You read it twice at your kitchen table, same chipped mug, same off-brand coffee you've bought since before any of this happened. The trust isn't just sitting on cash anymore. Halverson moved most of it into index funds, a few municipal bonds, some real estate positions spread across 3 states. Money that's actually working, not just parked. That's why the number moves even while you sleep. You don't feel rich reading it. You feel confused. Like the number belongs to someone you haven't met yet. Later that week, Halverson calls with his CPA on the line. A woman named Ose, sharp, no patience for small talk. The two of them disagree, right there in front of you, about how to classify one of the real estate positions for tax purposes. Halverson wants it treated one way. Ose says that's the version that draws attention during an audit. I'd rather pay a little more and never get a letter from the IRS, she says. You'd rather save the money and take the risk. That's not my call to make, it's his. You sit there listening to 2 professionals argue about your money like you're not even in the room. In the end, you go with Ose, not because you fully understand the tax code, you don't, but because never get a letter from the IRS sounds like the only sentence in that whole call you actually understood. That Saturday, you don't do any of it. No calls, no reports, no Halverson. You go get burgers with your roommate at the same greasy spot you've gone to since college. Sit outside, watch the game on somebody's propped-up phone, and for 2 hours you're just a guy eating a burger with his roommate. Nobody's watching. Nothing's compounding. Your roommate complains about his manager. You complain about Roy's joke for the 400th time. It's a good afternoon. Maybe the best one you've had in months. You drive home a little lighter than you've felt in a while. Then Sunday comes and the report's sitting in your inbox again, and the quiet comes back with it. The specific kind that's moved in without a name yet. You've got people. Roy still tells his joke. Your roommate still splits rent with you. But there's nobody in your life who knows what a Sunday report actually feels like. And there's no version of the old life you can walk back to either. You write 1 line in the notes app that night. You can outgrow a life before you've built the next one to stand in. You close the phone. Alarm's already set for 7. You go to a cookout in month 9. Nothing special. A coworker's backyard, a cooler full of drinks, somebody's bad playlist. You almost don't go. You go anyway, because saying no to everything is its own kind of suspicious by now. 2 beers in, somebody brings up the lottery. Not you, somebody else, just small talk, the jackpot on the news that week. Everyone does the thing people do. What would you buy? Who would you tell first? You laugh along. You've gotten good at that. Then you say something you shouldn't. Not because you meant to. Because 2 beers loosen something in you that's been clenched for 9 months straight. I wouldn't tell anyone, you say. Not a soul. It comes out with more weight than a joke should have. You hear it the second it leaves your mouth. Too specific, too certain, said by someone who's clearly thought about it more than a person joking at a cookout should. A guy named Priest, quiet most of the night, looks at you a beat too long. That's oddly specific, he says. You laugh it off. You change the subject. Somebody brings up football and the moment passes, or seems to. You don't sleep that night. You lie there replaying one sentence 50 times, wondering if you just handed a stranger a thread he doesn't even know he's holding. This is the part nobody explains to you at the laundromat, back on night 1. You think the risk is documents, wire transfers, some clever person digging through public records. It's not. The risk is a Tuesday, a beer. A sentence that comes out one notch too true. You spend the next few weeks checking things you already checked. Halverson walks you through the filings again, slower than you'd like, the way you'd talk someone down off a ledge. Nothing connects the entity to your name. Nothing ever did. Priest was guessing. A sharp guess. Still just a guess. You believe him. Mostly. But something's different after that night, and it doesn't go back to how it was. You start rehearsing yourself before parties now. Not lines exactly, just guardrails. Things you won't say. Drinks you'll slow down on. You build a slightly duller version of yourself on purpose, one that never says anything memorable enough for someone to repeat it back to you later with their eyebrows raised. You used to be the funny one in a group like that. Now you're the guy who changes the subject well. Here's the thing you finally understand, 9 months in, that the paperwork never could have taught you. Secrecy isn't something you set up once and walk away from. It's a muscle. You use it at every cookout, with every beer, for the rest of your life. Or one loose sentence undoes 11 browser tabs and 4 signed documents in about 4 seconds flat. A year in, you do something that surprises even you. You quit the warehouse and take another job almost exactly like it. Low-stakes project coordinator at a small logistics firm, $41,000 a year. You didn't need the money. You needed the explanation. An unemployed 26-year-old with no visible income raises questions. An employed one doesn't. You get good at the job. Weirdly good. There's something almost peaceful about spreadsheets. Nobody's watching for a hidden fortune. Your real tax return says $41,000. Not a lie, technically. Just not the whole sentence. The entity files separately, with OSE handling it now full-time. You draw a small, boring consulting salary off it, just enough to keep your visible life exactly as unremarkable as it needs to be. Halverson calls this structure. You've started calling it something else in your head. You call it the cage. Not a bad cage. Soft walls, good food, plenty of room to move. But a cage all the same. Because every freedom you technically have, you can't actually use without breaking the one rule that protects everything else. You've paid off your mom's house, quietly funded your sister's tuition, set up accounts for your niece and nephew that won't unlock until they're 18. 10 lives changed. 0 people who know you did it. In late spring, your uncle invites you fishing at the lake he's gone to every May since you were a kid. You almost say no. You've been saying no to a lot of things. You go anyway. 6 hours on a boat with bad coffee and worse luck. 1 bass between the 2 of you, no phone reception the whole time. Your uncle tells the same story, about the one that got away in '09. You've heard it 11 times. It's still funny. You don't think about Halverson once. You don't think about the report sitting in your inbox. You just sit there, sunburned, half asleep, listening to a story you already know the ending to. Driving home that night, you realize it's the first time in a year you forgot, completely, for 6 straight hours. That should feel like something bigger than it does. Some nights it does. Most nights, you just feel the weight of everything else. The specific, quiet weight of watching your best friend stress about a car repair, knowing you could fix it with 1 phone call, and not making it. Because the moment you do, the truth starts unraveling. And truth, like this, doesn't go back in the bottle once it's out. You understand something now that you didn't at the laundromat. holding a piece of paper you almost threw away. Money like this was never freedom. Freedom was the thing you had before. Back when $40 for gas was a real decision and nobody wondered why you were smiling at your phone. This is something else. Bigger, safer, lonelier. You still wear the watch with the split strap. You haven't replaced it. At this point, you're not sure it's about money anymore. Her name doesn't matter yet. What matters is she's the first person in 18 months who makes you forget to check your phone for a whole hour. You meet her through the new job, a coworker's friend, a party you almost skipped like you skip most of them now. She laughs at something dumb you say within the first 10 minutes. You laugh back before you can build the guardrail you usually build. 4 months in, it's real. Not cookout small talk real. Real in the way that scares you more than any bank flag ever did. She asks normal questions. Where'd you grow up? What's your family like? Do you want kids someday? You answer all of it honestly, which feels strange after a year and a half of answering almost nothing honestly. Somewhere around month 4, a different question starts showing up at 2 in the morning, uninvited. Every single night. Do you tell her? You think about the version of you from the laundromat. The one who almost called his mom within the first hour. That guy would have told her everything on the second date, laughing, half terrified, all in. That guy doesn't run this anymore. This version of you sits across from her at dinner, watching her talk about her sister's wedding, and quietly runs the math instead. Could this survive the truth? Would it change how she looks at you? Would she even want it to? There's no clean answer. Halverson won't touch this one. Money he can structure, this he can't. And for once you respect that he doesn't pretend otherwise. This is just you, at 2 a.m., turning the same question over with nothing new to add each time. You think about the letter your mom got in the mail. How she cried, thinking a stranger saved her. You think about how good you've gotten at watching people you love feel grateful toward a lie. You don't want that with her. But you also remember Priest at that cookout. One sentence, said with a beer in your hand, almost undid everything. This is bigger than one sentence. This is her whole life. Handed over on purpose? Forever. One Sunday, you take her to a diner near your old apartment, the greasy one you used to go to before any of this. She orders pancakes. You order the same thing you always ordered here, back when $412 in checking was the whole story. For an hour, it just feels like 2 people at a diner. No math. No math at all. You still haven't decided by the end of month 4. You lie there most nights, running the risk against the loneliness, and every night it comes out a tie. You reach over sometimes and touch her wrist, half asleep, and think about your own. Same broken watch strap, still not replaced, still ticking. Two years out, you finally sit down and add it all up. Not because you need to, because some Sunday nights you just need to see the whole shape of it at once. The house nobody's ever seen you walk into. The trust quietly compounding while you sleep. Your mom's mortgage gone. Your sister's tuition gone. 2 college funds sitting untouched, waiting for a niece and nephew who don't know yet why their aunt or uncle always shows up to birthdays a little quiet, a little watchful. 10 lives changed. 0 people who know you did it. You still work the coordinator job? You're good at it now. Actually good, not performance good. $41,000 a year on paper. More than that moving silently underneath it, and somehow both of those things are true about the same person at the same time. Osei still calls twice a year to walk through the filings. Halverson still sends the Sunday report, though you skim it faster now. Not because you stopped caring, just because $40,000 in a day stopped being a number that could hold your attention for long. You understand something at 2 years in that you didn't understand at the laundromat, holding a piece of paper you almost threw in the trash. The secret was never really about the money. The money got easier every month. The secret was about becoming a person who could hold something enormous and let almost nobody see the weight of it on your face. That's not a skill anyone teaches you. You build it one lie at a time, one cookout at a time, one Sunday report at a time, until it's not a skill anymore. It's just who you are now. You still haven't told her, you think you will. You think about it most nights, same as always, and most nights you still don't reach for your phone. You still wear the watch. Split strap. Same one from the laundromat 2 years ago, back when $40 actually meant something, and nobody wondered why you kept checking your phone. You could replace it in about 4 seconds. You just haven't found a reason good enough yet. Somewhere tonight, in a laundromat under the same kind of buzzing light, somebody else is digging through a jacket pocket for quarters. They find lint and a folded up piece of paper they don't remember keeping. They almost throw it away. They don't know yet what that decision costs or what it protects. They just know the dryer needs 4 more quarters and they're $1 short.